everyone, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, my name's Brooke. Okay, so basically what I'm doing today is a reading vlog slash review of the new bonus exclusive chapter of Colleen Hoover's Verity. First of all, if you haven't read Verity, 10 out of 10. I think it's a really good thriller book to get you into reading thrillers because it's definitely not, no hate or shade to Colleen, but it's not the best thriller out there, but it's definitely that one where, like, if you want to get into that genre, it's a really good starting point. So I read Verity by Colleen Hoover a few months ago, and then this new exclusive version came out, I think September 27th. I really wanted to read it before Halloween, and it's currently November 1st. So we're just gonna pretend that the Halloween season's not over yet. So before anything, I do want to address the fact that I am well aware I look exhausted. Anyhow, yeah, I've just been really busy with school and work, which is also why I just wanted to address the fact also that I'm not coming out with an October wrap-up this month because sadly I only read 3 books. But don't worry, if you were very much interested and you were like, oh my god, no, where is the October wrap-up? I'm going to blend it in with the November wrap-up. Anyways, I look tired, I know, out of the way. So as I said, I read this book a few months ago, so it's still pretty fresh in my mind. Also, if you have read it, comment right now, are you team manuscript or team letter? And if you haven't read it and you're like, huh, what's that? What team can I be on? Well, read the book and then you can pick a team. So I don't want to spoil this for anybody, but then I know there are people who want the spoilers or who've already read it and want me to talk about it in detail. So what my plan is I am going to do the reading vlog spoiler free, but then I'm going to put a little timestamp where I'm going to discuss more in detail my thoughts about things, so there will be spoilers there. And I will clarify that again later in the video. So once I've done my little reading vlog and I've discussed it with spoilers, I'm going to finish off with a quick little review, wrap up of my thoughts on it, spoiler free. So once again, if you don't want spoilers, this video is okay to stay here for. I'm going to timestamp it for you so I won't spoil anything for you. And if you don't pay attention to the timestamps and you get spoiled, it's not my fault. So just don't attack me. Anyways, so first of all, can we acknowledge how pretty it is compared to the original? I think it's so nice. So I'm gonna get right into it. I'm going to start by taking off the dust jacket. Isn't this cute? It literally has her signature engraved on it in gold. That's so cute. Okay guys, I'm going to dig into the book, find the bonus chapter, and we're just gonna get right into it. All right, here we go. 6 months later. Okay, so first thing I want to bring up, and I'm only on like page 4, is that I feel like the main character has shifted a little bit from what I remember. She just seems more like insecure and jealous. Like I feel like I guess she is insecure in a way, or like more like timid or cautious. And obviously crazy things have happened at this point in time, but it's also 6 months later. I feel like if anything, looking back on what happened, your personality wouldn't have shifted to be more insecure and like jealous. But that's what I'm getting from this. And it's weird. I feel like the main character is a little bit different. And I feel like the difference doesn't coincide with the events that happened. I just want to throw that out there. Let me know if you think the same thing or if I'm just being crazy. Anyways, back to reading. Okay, I just want to check online to make sure I'm not interpreting this the wrong way, even though I don't know if there's a way you could interpret this wrong. It literally pointed out the fact that Verity, like the name Verity, means truth. Like, am I dumb? Is that something that everybody knows? Or, oh my God, a true principle or belief, especially one of fundamental importance. That's like so that's so symbolic. I didn't know that. Did other people know that verity means truth? Like, is that like a thing that everybody knows? Verity. There's no way I'm the only one who's just finding this out now. What? It literally just nonchalantly was like, even her name means truth. And I was like, what? That is so symbolic. I feel like I wish I would have known that going into the book in the first place, because not that it's a big deal, but like, I don't know. I feel like that would have just been interesting to know. Guys, sometimes Colleen Hoover just goes a little bit too above and beyond. Like, not only am I cringing, I literally can't read this with a straight face. I'm sorry, this is just so, it's just feeling so smutty. Like, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. Oh my goodness. If you've read Colleen Hoover, you know the scenes. You know the, how do I put it? You know that she makes it so that certain scenes can be visualized in your head. So the one that she's discussing right now in this book is just, it's a little, I wish that didn't enter my brain, but it did. Okay, Lowen just said something that totally irked me. And again, it's going on with the idea that she's like all insecure now and jealous. And what she just said, I'm literally just like, really? Like, girl, really? So far, I have to say this epilogue is weird. We're still in the beginning of it, so I'm gonna keep going. But like, I'm kind of frustrated with Lowen. Like, a lot. Crew literally just said something so morbid, but also I totally get where he's coming from. But like, holy crap. Lowen is just like out and some lady's coming up to her and she's like, oh, hey. And Lowen's like, do I know you? And the girl's like, yeah. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. And basically, if you have read Verity, you know how it ends, so you know what's going on with every character. And so the lady is just sus that Lowen is with somebody. She's like, oh, you're with this person. Huh. Basically, I don't want to say anything to give it away, but I'm like, oh my God, like, this is something that Lowen doesn't want people to know. And now this lady is like, I know, because I can see. Basically, Lowen tries not to go out because she's in a bit of a pickle. But now she went out and she's in a picklier pickle. So, I just got major Joe Goldberg vibes from Jeremy. If you don't know who Joe Goldberg is, he's the main guy in the Netflix show You. And yeah, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. It's getting a little intense. Yeah. I swear, literally, none of the characters kept their personalities. And like, obviously, thinking about where you ended off, I get that. But like, Lowen is just a jealous freak. Jeremy is Joe Goldberg, and Crew is like, I don't even, he's just like, something's not right up here. Again, makes sense, but like, whoa. Okay, so I officially finished. So if you do not want spoilers, do not watch from this time, from this time to this time, because I'm just gonna be spoiling it up. So let's get into that. Okay, so first I wanna discuss, I'm going to go through every little thing I discussed in the vlog section, but like discuss it like how I wanted to in my mind. Okay, so first, the fact that Lowen in the beginning is just constantly like,
oh my god, like, did he love Verity way more than me, blah, blah, blah. Oh my god, she was able to get her baby weight away before I could.
which first of all, Lowen and Jeremy have a baby together, Nova, but she's all like, Verity, 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 Verity. And it's like, why are you jealous of somebody who's like literally dead now at the hands of the guy you're with? Like, literally stop. Like, just stop. Like, I don't even, yeah, I don't know. It was very, very Verity centered. Very, very Verity centered. It's literally constantly for the first few pages, like,
oh, did he think Verity was more this than I am? And oh, he liked her better than me and blah, blah, blah.
it's like, bro, he literally killed her. Like, she's literally gone. It's 6 months later. Stop sitting here being jealous of her. She's literally gone. And he killed her. I'm not even going to go into detail about some of the scenes I was talking about earlier, because that would definitely not be allowed on YouTube. And if you read it, you know. And if you read it, I'm sure we're probably on the same page where it's, we read it once, we don't need to discuss it again. So, yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Okay, and then one thing, the first thing that Crew said, where I was like, oh, whoa, that was so morbid. So it says, Lowen says it was about 2 weeks before Nova's birth, and she says, Crew, what should we name your baby sister? And he goes, I don't care, she's just gonna die. Now, here's what kind of confuses me. So, first of all, he says that, and like, you can understand why. Like, both his sisters died. So, you know, it's really sad, but like, it makes sense. But I feel like he's just kind of like, whatever, like, she's just not even gonna be around, so who cares? But then, when he does have her around, he freaking puts her outside alone because she's crying. And like, okay, so first of all, they're in the car at one point, and Nova's crying, and Crew's like, shut up. And then, you know, another time, Lowen comes in and she's like, oh my God, where's the baby? And Crew's like, she wouldn't be quiet. And like, he put her outside alone, like on the lawn or something. Like, I just feel like it shows like before the pregnancy, he's like, oh, whatever, she's just gonna die. Like, why should I care? But then, you have your sister who's not dead. She's here with you. Appreciate her. Like, why are you like, huh? And that is not the crew I remember. Like, I don't know. That was just a little weird. And then also, I literally, when Patricia came up to Lowen and she's like, oh, so now you're with Jeremy and Verity's dead. Huh, that's interesting. I was like, oh, my heart's like literally pounding. I was like, oh my God, don't figure it out. And then Jeremy in his head was like, oh, she's gonna figure it out. And then killed her. She's literally just walking her dog, and then she's like, huh, this is kind of sus. And then they're like, yeah, okay, bye. And then she walks away, and Jeremy drowned her. What? Yeah, that's a little weird. And Joe Goldberg moves, 100%. That's all I can say about that. And Lowen's just kind of sitting there breastfeeding her baby, like,
oh my God, this is gonna happen so much. This is gonna happen over and over again.
Like, then leave. Literally leave. I'm sorry, like, oh my God, I couldn't. I literally couldn't with that. Nope. Okay, and I also just want to mention, the first thing I thought, well, definitely not the first thing, but like the second thing I thought after I realized Jeremy had drowned Patricia, I was like, the dog. She was literally out walking her dog, and I was like, oh my God, the dog. But then it says, I hear bits and pieces of what the news anchor is saying that has Jeremy's undivided attention. Body drowned, dog found safe nearby, family notified. I was like, oh my God, thank God. They didn't even care that the body was found. I was like, thank goodness, the dog's fine. I'm sure most people can relate to that. Like, I mean, how could you not worry about the little dog? It's defenseless. I mean, I don't know if it said what type of dog it was. I feel like it did. I feel like it was like a little dog, which makes me even more sad for it. But then not sad because it was found safe nearby. Okay. So that was all the spoilers. Now for the actual review. I have to say, I enjoyed it. It was definitely a good thrillery. Nope. We're not going to use the word thrillery. I don't know if you guys watching have seen some of my past videos. If not, definitely go check them out. But I have this tendency to use the word thrillery instead of thrilling. I'm going to start keeping track on my channel of how much I do that because it's just nonstop. Anyways, the chapter was very thrilling. I did enjoy the fact that I was like very invested in it. However, Colleen lost me a little bit at a couple of the romance scenes. They were a little bit too much for me. Anyways, now here comes the big question. Was the chapter necessary, in my opinion? No, not at all. I feel like knowing that this is 6 months later, it just doesn't do anything for me. Like, okay, she's insecure, he's more psycho crazy, and the kid's probably gonna murder his sister eventually, Like, it just, I feel like all the characters are so different 6 months later, and that's totally understandable, but I feel like if it was a sequel, I'd be all for that. I feel like that'd be so much more practical, whereas putting it as an epilogue at the end of the book, I was just kind of like, if I were to read Verity for the first time and I were to read this version, I would be like, what was the point of the last chapter? It felt like you were moving on. Well, it was 6 months later. Like, it felt like we were in the future. next part of their lives. Like, why would she not have made a sequel? You know, like, I feel like that could have been really beneficial. I don't know. I just feel like the chapter itself at the end of the book was so unnecessary, and I feel like it was too much for a short amount of time. I don't like the fact that now it doesn't really, I feel like it doesn't leave you in anticipation and like, oh my gosh, it just kind of leaves you in like, what the hell? Like, yeah. So the chapter itself, it was definitely good. And like I said, I was invested. But again, I feel like it could have been such a good start to a sequel, because just an epilogue, I just feel like it didn't do it justice, and it just was not necessary. Do I regret buying or reading it? No. I'm definitely glad that I got to read the extra chapter. I'm really happy to have this exclusive copy, but you know, all in all, I totally could have gone without it. You know what I mean? So yeah, chapter itself, 4 out of 5, but was it necessary? No. As an epilogue, like a 2 out of 5. I just feel like it left me all weird. And at the same time, I guess maybe that's good because it's a thriller, it's crazy, and that's how I felt when I was done with it, just kind of all over the place. But it just, like, I don't know, personally, I don't know. If you read it, please let me know what your thoughts are on it. If you're gonna spoil in the comment, just make sure you put a little spoiler alert so that people can avoid your comment. But yeah, let me know if you thought it was necessary and like maybe what parts you liked or disliked. And if you haven't read it, let me know if you plan on it, or maybe even if I inspired you to, or if I basically got you to not read it because of what I just said. Yeah, basically let's just have a whole Verity extra chapter conversation in the comments below. That is it. So definitely like the video. Check out some of my other videos on my channel. Leave some Colleen Hoover Verity related comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.